Victor Lindelof has been linked away from Manchester United quite a lot this last week, with a lot of sources suggesting he will leave United with interest in Italy. There seems to be some advancements on that, and Lindelof could be on his way to Italy very soon. McTominay has reportedly chosen Napoli. Reports obviously said that yesterday, and reports are continuing to say today. McTominay is focused on a Napoli move, and Napoli are trying to get the deal done. They've got to agree a few with United. What is the latest on that? Fabrizio Romano has retweeted about Ugarte 3 times today, dropping some hints that here we go, maybe close. What's the latest on Ugarte? What's the latest on the left back? Because Ugarte and a left back is United's focus, and then depending on sales, they may go for another midfielder or attacker. Mazraoui has given his first interview as a United player, and there's 2 things he said that I really like and I want to mention. And then we're going to talk about Man United versus Fulham and what I think the starting 11 could look like, what I think the lineup could look like. So guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and let's get into all the news. So Marzio, a good, credible Italian outlet, has said, Fiorentina are interested in signing Lindelof. They're currently working to understand the conditions of a possible deal for the defender. Now, the United Marketeers said just the other day that Lindelof to Italy is advancing. It looks like there's a strong possibility it will happen. A lot of inside sources connected with the club said there is a confidence that Lindelof will leave United. His reps are in talks with many Italian clubs. And one thing that was reported last week is that Manchester United would accept offers of 6 to 9 million Victor Lindelof. They're more than willing to let him go on the cheap just to get him out the door. So Lindelof's been told that he's not in the plans. He's not going to play, especially now Ligt and Euro have come in. Obviously, Euro is injured, but Ligt has come in. And actually, Ligt coming in has given Lindelof a bit of motivation to leave. I think he was happy to stay with Euro injured, but now Ligt's come in. I think he's realised he's not going to get minutes. So Lindelof's now more open to leaving United. He's obviously been looking at a move all summer, but particularly with Ligt coming in, there's a bit of a momentum there to push Lindelof to leave United. And it was said, obviously, this week that United are willing to let Lindelof go to 6 to 9 million on the cheap. They want him out the door. He's not part of the plans. They do not want him leaving for free, and they're really working to get Lindelof out. There's obviously been interest from Italy, and Lindelof himself is considering a move to Italy, and Fiorentina are now interested in signing Lindelof, and they're working to understand the conditions of the deal. There's an expectation from many good sources in and around United scene, like United Marketeers and people that get info, that Victor Lindelof to Italy is a deal that Man United are quite confident could happen and could advance quick. You never know with Man United players, the wages they're on, will they leave, won't they leave? But there's a strong feeling inside United, say a lot of sources, that Lindelof could leave this summer and is expected to leave this summer. Lindelof, Pellistri and Mejbri are 3 players that are expected to leave. Eriksen, Sancho and McTominay are potential exits, but the 3 they're expected to leave is Lindelof, Mejbri, Pellistri. The other 3 are potential exits. Casemiro, Maguire, Anthony, despite Man United being open to offers for those players, are more than likely to stay at Man United this summer due to higher wages. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. I think we're going to get a lot of reports on Lindelof leaving. He's obviously had talks with Italy for a while, and it's now being suggested that he's open to the move, and United are willing to let him go for cheap. So definitely could be advancements there. In terms of McTominay, it has been said that Napoli has discussed figures and commissions with the agent of Scott McTominay in another meeting in the last few hours. So Alfredo Padella saying in the last few hours, McTominay and Napoli have had a meeting. He's given priority to the Italian club, and he's Antonio Conte's priority. So in the last few hours, there's been a meeting between those at Napoli and McTominay where he's essentially said yes to Napoli, agreed that he was willing to join Napoli, and now Napoli are focusing on that deal. Now, Napoli obviously made a loan offer for Scott McTominay the other day. It got rejected. United don't want to do permanence. Napoli are weighing up how to do a permanent deal for McTominay, because unless they sell Osimhen, the funds could be a struggle there. So it's one of those, it's a bit like, okay, well, McTominay now is open to going to Napoli. Napoli want him, but are they going to do a Fulham and just give us, low bids, or are they actually just going to hit the £25 million asking price to get this deal over the line? I think because McTominay has 1 year left on his contract, and that it's Man United they're negotiating with, they're definitely going to try and get him on the cheap, see if they can get him on a good deal. But hopefully we can get the 25 million from McTominay. I think he's more than worth 25 million, even with 1 year left on his deal. I think it is a fair deal. Part of me always thinks there's a little bit of this news maybe to scare potentially Fulham into going back into McTominay. Fulham obviously made a 23 million bid for McTominay according to Luckhurst, but we wanted 25 million, so they were quite close to the asking price. Maybe Fulham are waiting to the end of the window to see if they can get McTominay cheaper, but there's interest from Fulham and Napoli, but apparently McTominay himself wants the Napoli move, is sort of open to it, people are suggesting, and he could be Napoli bound, with meetings obviously ongoing. The Napoli director is in England to sort a number of deals, and there could be some advancements on that. McTominay is definitely one to watch, particularly with Ugarte coming in. Even though McTominay's played as a more advanced midfielder, he's definitely one to watch. Same with Lindelof. Pellistri is obviously been linked to Bologna and a couple of Italian clubs as well. Could be one to watch. Mejbri's had a transfer request and is expected to leave. And Man United are expecting late interest for Eriksen. So in regards to Ugarte, it's been said that Manuel Ugarte is out of PSG's squad for the opening League One game. He wants to join United. The deal has never been off, but it will absolutely depend on the conditions from PSG. Considering that PSG have given them the green light to leave since the end of last year, considering that PSG are dropping him from the squad, he's pushing for the move, he wants to move. Enrique doesn't want him. They've already signed his replacement, João Neves. PSG need to sell him. PSG, I think, know that nobody's going to pay the 50 million asking price. Even other clubs won't, because he didn't have a good first season. And I think United know that they're in quite a strong position to sort of run this to the end of the window and make PSG lower the conditions. There seems to be a confidence inside United this will be done. Romano's retweeting a lot. We know Mendes is now in Manchester today trying to negotiate that deal. We know today there's been a lot of negotiations in regards to that deal. So I think we could maybe get a breakthrough at the weekend like we did with Ligt and Mazraoui. Graham Bailey said that Ugarte's agents are confident that a deal with Man United will happen this summer. It's just a bit like Ligt, it will take time, but there seems to be a confidence inside United. According to reports, they will get Ugarte because, you know, there's a lot of reports saying that PSG will lower the fee, and I think that makes sense. I don't think they were ever going to get 51 million for Ugarte. I think they've accepted that, and I think they were just trying on because it was United. And those inside United have always felt quite confident they get Ugarte. I think we're going to get Ugarte, and if we don't get Ugarte, it's because PSG are being ridiculous, and then we get Sanderberg, so it's not the end of the world. But Ugarte is pushing for the move. He's been dropped from the squad. They've already signed a replacement. They don't want him. There's 2 weeks left in the window. Potentially they want Sancho as well. So it's one to watch. I think there could be a breakthrough soon. It was also said after we sign Ugarte or a midfielder, we would like a left back. Obviously, the options have been Hermoso, Reguilon, and Alonso, but the priority now is midfielder. So I think once Ugarte is over the line or a midfield alternatives over the line, I would watch the cheap left back market. Not a fan really of any of those names, but Reguilon could do a job. Hermoso could do a job. Don't particularly rate Marcos Alonso. Now, apparently Marcos Alonso is pushing for the United move. He wants to go back and play in the Premier League. I know we need a left back because Shaw and Thingy's always injured and Harry Amas is just so young, but personally for me, I would just don't. Now I do want to talk about the Fulham game and United's plans ahead of the Fulham game, but before I get into that, I want to get into some comments that Mazraoui made in an interview when he was asked to describe himself as a player. Mazraoui said, "I think I'm a player who adapts fast and I'm quite good under pressure. When they press high, I can find a way to come out of the press. Attacking-wise, I feel I like to really support my winger. That's the guy who has to score and give the assist, so I try my best to support him, and then also defending and on the ball." And I think one of the reasons Ten Hag wants Mazraoui is he's so good under the press and he's so good at carrying the ball forward and helping him build up that it's really going to elevate our progression play, playing out from the back. And interestingly, I read this earlier today that Manuel Ugarte, when he was really, really good at Sporting, they obviously played a 3-1-6 formation almost in possession when building up, which is what Ten Hag's trying to do. So maybe even though Manuel Ugarte is not known for his possession ability, when he had technical players around him, he was able to do that, and that could be another reason why they like the look of Ugarte. In terms of Mazraoui, he said on Ten Hag that he's a special manager for me because I made my debut under him. I've always liked seeing the game and the way he plays. It really suits me. And I think with Mazraoui and Ligt coming in, they're really interested and really keen to play under Ten Hag again, which speaks highly of the manager. 2 players we probably wouldn't have signed if we didn't have Ten Hag as manager. Had Ineos sat Ten Hag, it would have been a lot harder to sign them. But I want to talk about what I expect to see from Manchester United ahead of the game and what my lineup would be. Now, there's reports saying Garnacho will start, but I'm going to go with Ahmad. And I think because Garnacho's not had a pre-season, I don't know if he's fit enough to play the full 90. And I think Garnacho off the bench versus tired legs is great. I think Rashford did have a good pre-season. I know he missed a sitter in the Community Shield, but I think Rashford had a good pre-season. I'd love to see, if I'm going to be honest, I'd love to see Xerxes, but I don't know how fit he is. He's obviously had an extra week and a half training compared to Garnacho. I would absolutely love to see Xerxes, but I don't know how fit he is. But I think it could be Mount, and I have no issue with Mount playing. I would probably play Bruno in midfield with Maino and Casemiro. But the interesting thing is, what will United do in the back line? Because there is rumours that both De Ligt and Mazraoui are going to start for Manchester United today, which is really interesting as well. But there is rumours that Ahmad could go to the bench, which I think would be unfair considering how good he's been in pre-season. Now, the rumours have Delo at left back and Mazraoui at right back, although Mazraoui is probably more two-footed than Delo. And then it's got Maguire on the bench with De Ligt and Martinez at centre-back. I think De Ligt could potentially be ready to play for United despite a lack of pre-season. I think Ten Hag signed him so he could play. I think De Ligt and Mazraoui was signed this week so they could play the first game. So I expect the lineup to not be that. That's my lineup. I expect it to be Mount instead of Xerxes just because of pre-season and the Community Shield, because Ten Hag's comments in the press conference suggested that Xerxes isn't quite ready to start yet. I expect our lineup to look something like this. It'll be really, really interesting. But listen, people, I'm going to wrap up the video here. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts ahead of the Fulham game, which is only 3 hours away, really, from kickoff. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.